There are big celebrations in South Warwickshire today to mark something, well, actually quite small. The first Mini rolled off the production line at Longbridge on May the 8th, 1959. It was a cheap car for the man in the street and became a cult classic, even starring in films like The Italian Job and The Bourne Identity. Well, as part of today's milestone, one of the world's top stunt drivers will be taking one for a spin at the Motor Heritage Centre at Gaydon. And that's where Sarah Falkland is right now. Sarah.
Well, Dan, this is the winner of the 1965 Monte Carlo Rally. The Mini, of course, won it no less than 3 times in its history, and it has been a fabulous 50 years for the car. Of course, when it first rolled off the production line at Longbridge, the press at the time said back then in 1959, it is wizardry on wheels, they said. They couldn't understand how something so tiny on the outside could appear so spacious on the inside. And that was all because of where they put the engine. Not only did they put it at the front of the car, they swiveled it round and turned it sideways. And it was that made all the difference, wasn't it, Stephen?
Yes, Sarah, it was really a revolution in motoring. It's only 10 feet long, but it's space for 4 adults and all their luggage too.
It's very much got a place in the heart of the British public. It's sold, I think, something like 5.5 million. What are you doing to celebrate its 50th today?
Well, today is our special preview of a new exhibition which opens on Sunday to the public. We've gathered together some really special Mini cars and the sounds and the sights of the Mini. It's a really important part of the motor industry in the Midlands, and also everybody's got their own Mini memories, Mini story. And
just tell us about this stuntman you've got.
We've got the very skillful Russ Swift. If you think this car is little, you should see what small spaces he can get it into.
Well, we'll actually be looking at what he's doing a little later. He'll be on the programme at 6:30 tonight. And incidentally, Russ Swift, if you Google him on the internet, there are some comments that perhaps he is the Stig off Top Gear. More on that at 6:30 tonight. But as I say, 50 years of the Mini here today, something of a party. Everyone has their story to tell about the Mini, not least Madonna, who of course couldn't resist when she was writing her last album, American Life, those famous lines, "I'm driving my Mini Cooper, I'm feeling super duper." And on that note, probably the not so super duper weather, over to Chef.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Well, I'm not saying I'm a material girl, but if I had the money and had the choice between a Mini Cooper and an Aston Martin, I'm afraid it's going to have to be an Aston Martin on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Just got to figure out where to put the handbag, though, because you know what they say about women's handbags. They are a bottomless pit. Now, you're probably wondering why we're indoors rather than outdoors on such a lovely sunny day. Well, it's just because the winds have whipped up into a frenzy, and it is very blustery out there, which it will continue to be for the rest of the afternoon. We're looking at a good deal of sunshine and dry weather, but we can't rule out the occasional shower cropping up here and there, and most of them are cropping up around the north of the region. They could be heavy, they could be short and sharp, or they could be a bit lengthier, but I think on the whole it's looking dry, as I said, and top temperatures of around 15 Celsius, which if you're out of the winds and in the sunshine, and it's very difficult to be out of the winds today, it could feel warm, but actually it's feeling quite nippy. We're looking at speeds of around 25 miles per hour over the hilltops, possibly a little stronger. And then into tonight, the winds do ease just a little bit, but it's still going to be quite breezy. It's going to be clear and dry as well, so a little bit cooler as a result. Temperatures are falling down to about 7 Celsius overnight. But as we head into the weekend, first day of the weekend, Saturday, the winds will be easing through the day, so much calmer by the end of it, but still quite breezy. And again, quite sunny. We've got a good deal of dry weather tomorrow, just the occasional shower cropping up. Again, it'll be the north of the region that's prone to those, but temperatures up to, again, 15, 16 Celsius, and then dry for Sunday, but it is looking much calmer.
Now, they say that good things come in small packages, and today they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the small but perfectly formed Mini.
Yes, the British public began a love affair with the Mini from the moment the first cars rolled off the production lines in Longbridge and Cowley, and that continues to this day.
It certainly does. Sarah Falkland is at the Motor Heritage Centre at Gaydon for the celebration. Sarah.
Yeah, it's something of a party here, Suzanne. It is, of course, classic, very British and very Mini. So what would you have at its party? Mini fish and chips, of course. This is, in fact, the winner of the 1965 Monte Carlo. Of course, Mini won 3 times. Over here, some of the boys who actually helped build the Monte Carlo Rally Minis. What do you say today on the 50th birthday, boys?
Happy birthday!
59ers, as they were known, were the first Minis to hit Britain's streets. What they didn't know back then was that many of them had their floors welded the wrong way round. Because the summer was so dry, there weren't complaints from owners about wet feet until well into the autumn of that year. But teething troubles aside, there was no stopping the mighty Mini. Today guy at Gaydon was an enthusiast who knows exactly what this wizardry on wheels is capable of.
It's just like driving a little go-kart. It is so responsive. It reacts so quickly to whatever you want it to do. You make it change engine, you make it turn in. It's just the precision that you're allowed to achieve with the Mini that makes it outstanding.
The exhibition here is a little like the Mini itself. It has a TARDIS-like quality. It feels bigger and better than it looks. And it's surprising what you'll learn. Austin Drawing Office project number 15, as the Mini originally started out, was actually in response to the fuel shortage that was caused by the Suez Crisis in 1956. Minis were manufactured as far away as Sydney, South Africa and Venezuela. And of course, the Mini was the darling of celebs. Spike Milligan was one of the first to have one, Stings had one, Mary Quant had zebra seats in hers, and Madonna famously said, "I'm driving my Mini Cooper, I'm feeling super duper." Not so Russ's tyre bill though. He gets an average 3 miles out of each one. Lovely man he was too. Thankfully, he's managed to have sponsorship from Pirelli, I think he said, for the last 25 years, so it's saved on his tyre bill. And incidentally, rumour has it that Russ actually stands in as the Stig. All you Top Gear fans out there will know what I'm talking about. So much so for the last half century then. What about the future for our beloved Mini? With me now is, of course, a man from one of the BMW ownerships, and of course you own the Mini brand now. What do you think the future is, John?
The future's looking fantastic. I mean, we've got the current model, which is doing successfully well. We've got a new SUV planned for next year. The following year after that, there's going to be a fantastic new little coupe model. So looking superb.
I mean, it was designed as the car for the man in the street. Do you think it still is, or do you think it's been priced out of that? I mean, what does it start at now, the Mini?
Mini starts today just over £12,000 for a new one, but no, it is priced for anybody out there. It's a classless car, and we find today in the business that we have every ranging customer come in looking for a Mini.
Did you learn to drive in one?
I did, actually, yes,
yeah,
I did.
Me too, and I wonder how many people sat at home are saying yes to that very same question. Just to tell you that the exhibition here at Gaydon at the Motor Museum is opening this Sunday at 10 o'clock. It's running through until December. I mentioned those Mini fish and chips, but apparently they've got some Mini lemon meringue pies as well, so catch you later.